face is not the end of your story. There is more to who you are than today reveals. You are not made for lowly heights, so raise the bar and be better. Explore new frontiers. I am cheering, waiting on the other side. Keep advancing. God has given all you need. There are people following the path you lead. Yeah, 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 oh yeah, yeah. Every day is just a gift to become a better you. Now is where your pages begin. No stopping now, no stopping. Keep moving, no stopping. Keep moving, no stopping. Keep moving, no stopping now. Growth is a guarantee that tomorrow's great. Hope you hear me. Don't you drown in the glory of yesterdays. Only if you can strive to be better, then you have a chance to become the best of you. Yeah, I am cheering, waiting on the other side. Keep advancing. God has given all you need. There are people following the path you lead. Yeah, 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 oh yeah. Every day is just a gift to become a better you. Now is where your pages begin. No stopping now, no stopping. Keep moving, yeah. No stopping, keep moving, yeah. No stopping, keep moving, yeah. No stopping now, yeah.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on your leadership community this beautiful Sunday evening. We are so excited to have you here. Join us on this platform where we learn, unlearn, and relearn. My name is Oyinye, and I'll be your anchor for tonight. This evening, we'll be talking about personal development, and we have an interesting guest in the house. A man thoroughly loaded and prepared for our generation. Someone you need to hear. We'll take 1 minute and encourage you to please call your friends, page or text or beep anyone you need to beep so that they can come in and join us, because this evening will be totally life transforming. So let's encourage you to do that right away. If you're watching us outside Nigeria and it's morning where you are, good morning. If it's afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to your leadership community. So let's just take 1 minute and allow people come in. Yes, you're welcome. Thank you for joining. Okay, a couple of people are coming in. Come in quickly. Tell others. Let's get this started immediately. I'm sure we're going to have fun this evening. All right, thank you. Thank you so far. Our guest is Femi Luther-Abegunde. Let me tell you a little bit about Femi. You know, I've known him for a couple of years now, and Femi is a life strategist, management consultant. He's an author. He's a peak performance coach. FLA, like we call him, works with individuals and organizations to transition from where they are to where they yearn to be. FLA has his first degree in computer science. He has an executive master's in project management, has a professional master's in international law and diplomacy. Like I mentioned earlier, he's a certified peak performance and life coach with several years of experience in the fields of emotional intelligence, leadership development, mind engineering, strategy, execution, and human capital development. He helps individuals find answers to their most pressing questions, gain self awareness, find their passions, fill their inner vacuums, and create their desired heaven with lucidity, tenacity, and courage required to achieve success. Engineering minds and thoughts towards effectiveness that sprouted him, Femi has authored several books to successfully channel the wealth of knowledge he has accrued over the years. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure and it's an honor indeed to welcome FLA to our live studios in Leadership Community this beautiful afternoon. Welcome, Femi Luther.
Hello and good evening. Welcome to Leadership Community. I'm super excited for this great opportunity being given unto me to be able to share with us this very evening. I must actually applaud the leadership of the set man himself, PBA. Thank you for this privilege, and I must also applaud my brother, Hodiaka. Thank you also for hosting this show. Today and subsequently in the next few months, I will be sharing with us on personal development. But today, I want to share from my heart on personal development quotient, PDQ. It's more or less like me asking you, what is your personal development quotient? And this actually matters a lot. I want to start this very evening with a fantastic story. Should I say story? It's not really a story. It's an African research-based statement that tells us over and over again that if you raise 20 children in the same house with the same ambition, the research actually says that even if they went to the same school, were taught by the same teacher, in the next 25 years, what kind of results would there be? And this African research says that the intensity of the success actually would differ, not because success eluded some of them, but basically for what I've called personal involvement. Now, your personal involvement determines the final outcome of your life. If you are not personally involved in your life, it shows in the kind of results you get in your life. Now, under God, what determines your success in life or what you become in life as a leader is actually your personal involvement in your personal life. Now, intentional personal involvement bets actually personal development. Your personal involvement in your life creates personal development, and that is why it's important we get it right. What makes personal development very, very different from any kind of development is the word personal, because personal development simply tells you that it is not governmental development, it is not parental development, it is not community development, it is personal development. I like to read a statement that was said by one of the founding fathers of management. It's actually a statement by the man called Peter Drucker. Peter Drucker says, as labor markets become more global, responsibility for development shifted from the company and it has shifted to the individual. Peter Drucker says we live in an age of unprecedented opportunity, and if you've got ambition, if you've got smarts, you can rise to the top of your chosen profession regardless of where you started out. That statement is huge. I'm going to take that part again. Peter Drucker says that if you have ambition, if you're smart, you can rise to the top of your chosen profession regardless of where you started out from. It now says, but with opportunity comes responsibility, because companies today aren't managing the employee's career. It says knowledge workers must effectively be their own chief executive officer. It says it's up to you to carve out your place. It's up to you to know when to change course. It's up to you to know yourself, to keep yourself engaged and productive during your work life. Now, this statement could be a mouthful, but there are some critical points I want to bring to your notice. One of the critical things that Peter Drucker says is, if you have ambition, it simply means if you're hungry. In the word of Les Brown, if you're hungry, if you have ambition, it says, and if you're smart, you say you can rise to the top of your chosen field. But one of the critical things you must understand is this, that the responsibility has been given to you to know what to do. So that is actually where personal development comes in. Those who get to the top started most of the time from the bottom, and some at the bottom used to be at the top, but they fell from the top to the bottom. The truth still remains that no one got to the top from the top. That's the truth. Nobody gets to the top from the top. You actually get to the top, even if your father actually is tall, you have to grow your own height. So nobody gets to the top by themselves. The way to the top is first personal, and it's never collective. So you must understand the weight of responsibility that your personal development has placed into your life. So if your life is going to ever be colorful, it's up to you to decide. It's up to you to decide. So before we go further into this conversation, what is personal development? I'm going to try to give us some definitions about personal development. I'm going to give us about 2 or 3. One is this: the personal development is a conscious pursuit. Personal development is a conscious pursuit of personal growth. Watch that. There are 2 times I use the word personal there. Personal development is a conscious pursuit of your personal growth, and it happens when you do 3 things. Number 1, it happens by expanding your self-awareness. That tells me that you cannot develop personally if you are not aware of yourself. As a matter of fact, there's nothing to develop if you don't know you. So it starts by first expanding your self-awareness. Number 2, it also starts by expanding your knowledge base. So there's no personal development outside knowledge. You must actually trade and deal with knowledge. And number 3 is personal development is about expanding and improving your personal skills. Personal development is personal. That's one of the critical things I wanted to leave the space with today. Personal development is personal, but it's all about a conscious pursuit. So you cannot subconsciously or unconsciously develop yourself. You can grow to the unconscious level, but you can never start from an unconscious level. So it's first is a conscious pursuit. It's a conscious pursuit. Now, there are 5 areas when it comes to personal development. Area number 1 is that personal development deals with your mental state. It deals with your mental state, your mental acumen. You can't be personally developed if your mental state is not developed. Number 2, it involves your social state. You also must develop yourself socially. Why do we say this? Because human beings, we are all social beings. We negotiate on a social plane. And because we negotiate on a social plane, you cannot run away from social development. Number 3 is the spiritual state. You also must develop yourself in a spiritual plane. Why? We all are spirit beings having human experiences. And because we're spirit beings having human experiences, we can't shy away from the spiritual quotient of our development. And number 4 is the emotional state. You also must develop yourself emotionally. You must actually develop your emotions. Your emotions are actually, they are the engine of your existence. So if you miss it in the area of emotions, no matter how strong you are spiritually, socially, and mentally, you cannot really you cannot sustain your development. So you must also develop yourself emotionally. And the last one is you must develop yourself in the area, in the physical area. Now, in the subsequent months, we'll be dealing with these 5 areas. We'll be dealing with the mental, personal development, social development, spiritual development, emotional development, and also physical development. So those are the 5 areas we're going to deal with this year. But in today's session, I'm just going to be talking about the basic things. I'm going to be talking about the basic things. And in another school of thought, if you want to expand your personal development management, it's in a broader scope. So we'll talk about that later on. So let me give you the second definition of personal development. Personal development is a conscious choice. It's a conscious choice to improve your life, to become a better person, and to grow as an individual. Now, it says it's a personal choice. It's a conscious choice, rather, to improve your life and to become a better version of yourself as an individual. So, if you look at these two definitions, you will notice one word that is consistent in there: conscious. So that tells me that personal development is first a conscious thing. It's a conscious pursuit. It's a conscious choice that you cannot run away from. It is conscious and it is personal. So personal development also, in case you're listening to me and you say, hey, young man, I've been developing myself for 33 years. I've been developing myself for 40 years. It's good for you to also know, probably maybe next month we'll talk about the basic facts about personal development. But one of the key things you must understand today is this: that personal development takes place over the course of your life. You cannot say, I've developed myself in 2020. You cannot say, I developed myself in 2019. So in 2021, I'm not going to develop myself. It's something you have to keep on doing. What English can I use? You never get to the end of the rope of personal development. You can never get to the end of the rope. So you have to keep developing yourself to remain yourself. So it's one of the key things you must understand. So let's talk about the journey to personal development. How does this thing start? Now, the journey to personal development basically starts with a question that you must be able to answer. What's the question? Why is my life the way it is now? That's the first question. Why is my life the way my life is now? Your answer to that question leads you to the second question. What can I do to change it? Now, ask yourself the first question. Why is my life the way my life is now? Until you understand this question and you actually give yourself an unbiased answer, your journey to personal development can never start. You must be able to answer that question. Why is my life the way my life is now? When you have an answer to that question, then you proceed to the second question. What can I do? I didn't say what can the government do. I didn't say what can my mentor do. I didn't say what can my family do. I'm saying what can I do to change it? Because there is always a gap between potential and performance. And because there's always a gap, the truth remains that the only way to close the gap is by you. You must make up your mind and say to yourself, what am I going to do with what I have now? So that's one of the key things you must understand. So if you want to live a happy life, you want to live a wealthy life, you want to live a life that you'll be proud of, then you must get ready to work hard on yourself. Why do I say this? The best project you can ever work upon is you. I'm going to say that again. The best project you as a human being can ever work upon is you. You are a project that you must work upon because you are the CEO of your life. You are the CEO of your life. You are the project manager of your life. So you must get ready to work on yourself. You must get ready to work on yourself. So the best project you can ever work upon is not anything you do for people. It's not what you do for your community. It's not what you do for an NGO. It's not what you do for a church or a mosque. It's what you do for you. So which is why it's very important for you as an individual to invest on yourself. You must invest on yourself. So it's very, very important we get this right. And it is very hard also to keep what you have not obtained through personal development. So you must get ready to work on yourself so that you can keep what comes into your life. Because until you work on you, whatever you get outside you've worked on you is not yours. So to take this conversation to the next level, let me share with us 10 components of personal development. 10 components of personal development. I want you to take note of these 10 things. If you can work on these 10 things, you are beginning to awaken the consciousness. You are awakening the consciousness to personal development. So what are the 10 things that actually are the components of personal development? Component number 1, know yourself. Know yourself. Know yourself. Personal development begins with self-awareness. Until you know you, you can't do you. You can't develop you. You can't express you. There's nothing about you that matters to you until you know yourself. So the first thing you must understand, that the first component of personal development is self-knowledge. You must get to know yourself. Can I ask you a question? Who are you? I hear people say this in traffic. I hear people say this when there are issues. I hear people say this when maybe there's a traffic jam, there's an issue on the road. But do you know who I am? No. You tell me who you are. Because many people live on earth, but they don't know who they are. Many of us live on earth. We're living the life of our fathers. We're living the life of our friends. We're living the life of our religious organization. We're living the lives of our nation, but we're not living our own true life. Until you know yourself, you can't become yourself. And until you know yourself, you can't even develop yourself. So the first thing to ask yourself is, who am I? Who am I? Is a question that awakens the giant on the inside of you. And until you find yourself, you can't develop yourself. So you need to ask yourself that question, who am I? And one of the key things I tell my clients or people when I'm having conversations around who are you, is I tell them to do what I call a tiger. Tiger yourself. What do I mean to tiger yourself? It's an acronym. When you use the word tiger yourself, it makes you see yourself as a product. And it says to you that if I am a product, then what is the tiger of my life? What is the T? Let's break down the acronym. The T talks about your talents. What are the talents, or what are the inborn tendencies that you have? The I talks about your interests. What are the things that catches your heart, not just your eyes? Because anything can catch your eyes, but not all things catch your heart. So what are the things that actually capture your heart? You need to find what is my interest. The G talks about my personal goals. What are my goals? What are the things that I actually dream about? What are the things that when I wake up, I just wish I can achieve this, I can do this, I can become this? So you need to understand what are your goals. Now the E talks about your experiences. What are the experiences you've gone through in life that can become a tool in your hand for where you're going? So you must understand the E, your experiences. And the last one, which is the R, talks about the resources within your reach. What are the resources you have contact with that can be used in who to become who you are? So you must actually look at your tiger. So my question to you this very evening is, have you found your tiger? Have you found your talent? Have you found your interest? Have you found your goals? Have you found your experiences that have made you who you are? Have you found the resources that divinity brought into your community? So you must understand what your tiger is. Now let's go to number 2. So component number 2. Component number 2 talks about vision. It talks about vision. Vision is actually very, very important in who you become. Why do I say vision is very important in who you become? Because where there is no vision, there is no personal restraint. When there is no vision, there is no personal discipline. When there's no vision, there's no personal pursuit. When there's no vision, there's no dream for you to go after. And until you have a vision, you cannot become anything you want to become in life. So you must understand, what do I see when my eyes are closed? What do I see in the eyes of my heart? What do I see that drives who I want to become? What do I see that make me want to become all I want to become? So you must have a vision. Now, what is a vision? A vision is an informed bridge from your present to your future. It's an informed bridge. It's not something that just suddenly happened. No. It's an informed bridge. And why do I call vision an informed bridge? Because a vision is a reflection of what you are born to accomplish. It's a reflection of what you are born to accomplish. Another definition of a vision, which I love so much, I use this a lot in my trainings, is that a vision is a clear mental portrait of a preferred future, and it is based on an accurate understanding of two things. What are the two things? Your context and yourself. Can you say we're back to self again? It's an accurate understanding of your context and yourself. You can't run away from you. You can't run away from yourself. So you must understand that a vision itself, it's a mental portrait of that desirable future, of that future that you are looking forward to seeing. And it is based on an accurate understanding of you and your context. What is your context? Your context is the circumstances in which you've been born to live and operate in. Visions don't come to pass in isolation. They come to pass within a context. So you must understand your context as you are getting your vision ready, because your vision actually puts a discipline on you that makes you want to develop you. As far as you can develop yourself is based on the vision in your heart. When you find people who don't invest in personal development, definitely you know people who have not caught a vision yet. Because visions are not actually thoughts, they are caught. Until you catch that vision, you can run after it. So you must be able to understand what is the vision of my heart. That's number two. The number three, if you're talking about personal development has goals. There are goals. You must have goals. Why do I say this? Because goals gives you a mark to press towards. Goals gives you a mark to press towards. When you have a goal, there's something you're pressing towards. There's something driving you. There's something that you're seeing that you're running towards. Because those who have goals, actually, they have 10 times results than those who don't have. One of my friends once said, if you don't have a goal, then you are a goat. But I believe you're not a goat, so you must have a goal. So if you want to walk in alignment with personal development, then you must invest in your goals. You must invest in what I call a SMART goal. What is a SMART goal? It's popular, it's everywhere, especially being general. It's everywhere. It must be specific. What do you want to accomplish? It must be meaningful. What does a goal, why is a goal important to you? It must be actionable. What steps am I going to take to achieve this? It must be realistic. What is the action-oriented verb that I'm going to use? And it must actually be timely. By what time will I get this done? So my brothers and sisters listening to me this very evening, it's important you understand this basic fact that you must have a goal. If you have a goal to be an eagle, you will not sit down with chicken. And until you have that goal, you can't invest in yourself. You can't even develop yourself. So that's number three. Number three talks about you must have a goal. Number two talks about you must have a vision. And number one talks about knowing yourself. Fantastic. Let's get to number four. Now, what is number four? Number four talks about being intentional. Be intentional in your relationship. Personal development happens within the circumference of a relationship. As human beings, we exist within an ecosystem. And because we exist within an ecosystem, one of the key things that happen to us is that our relationships are like a dog.
Wow, amazing, amazing. Sorry for that break. We're going to bring back FLA, but it's been hot in the house talking about personal development quotient. Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, you must understand that is your personal responsibility. FLA has shared a lot with us, and that you can rise to the peak of your career by carving out a niche for yourself in your work life. It's important that you understand that personal development is personal. It's personal. And you must be conscious and deliberate about this pursuit. Those who get to the top start at the bottom, and some at the bottom today started out at the top. and fell because they took personal development for granted. It's important that we take personal development as a key factor in our growth process. There are keys that you must have in place, components. FLA mentioned that there are 10, and he has taken about 4. He said the first is that you know yourself, the second is that you have vision, the third is that you have goals, and if you don't have goals, you are a ghost. Hallelujah. This is getting interesting. And he mentioned that the fourth is that be intentional. We're going to bring back Femi later, but let me tell you that if you have missed this part, ladies and gentlemen, don't go back, don't wait. Continue with us till the end. Then you go back and watch the complete tape, because this is hot in here and you must develop this year, 2021. All right, let's get back and bring Femi. He is back. Let's bring him. And I see you at the end of this discourse.
All right, so being intentional. Now, like I was saying, relationships are like a double-edged sword. They either lift you up or they drag you down. So if you're talking about personal development, please note this, that you cannot develop yourself beyond the relationships you keep. That is why when you improve your personal development, you are better able to see which relationship are worth investing in. So you must understand the power of relationships. Your personal development cannot be better than the people in your ecosystem. So your relationship actually determines how much you grow. I remember when I was in a university for my first degree, I have a collection of friends, and one of the key things, actually the day I met my best friend, was through a book that I was holding. Precisely Maximizing Your Moment by T.D. Jakes. I was reading that book and we met in a band, and with the book we connected, we became friends, and from over 2 decades now, over 1 decade, let me not say 2, over 1 decade now, we're still friends together doing what we love to do. So one of the key things that actually attracts me to people is actually the kind of books they read and the kind of conversations they have around their personal development. So you must be intentional concerning your relationship. Now, number 5, you must also be accountable. You cannot develop yourself beyond your accountability structure. You cannot develop yourself beyond your being able to be accountable. You need to surround yourself with people who can call and who can and will call you out when your life begins to drift off course. So you need the right set of people in your life. You need the right set of people in your life. You can't develop yourself beyond your accountability framework. You cannot develop yourself. I'm going to say that again. You cannot develop yourself beyond your accountability framework. So you must actually be accountable. You must have people that can call you to order when they begin to sense that your investment in personal development is beginning to shrink. Now, number 6, you must also have a balance between contentment and discontentment. You must have a balance between contentment and discontentment. What do I mean by this? Be content with what you have so that you are not tempted or you want to take up foolish and unethical shortcuts. But your contentment actually shouldn't lead you into mediocrity or lead you into, I'm looking for, I beg for the English word to use now, mustn't lead you into a state whereby you become the custodian of the status quo. You mustn't lead you to that point. Rather, you must have a bit of discontentment on the inside of you that is always looking forward to the better version of you. That's one of the critical things you must understand here. It must always beg for the better version of yourself. So you must have a bit of discontentment on the inside of you, but be contented with who you are, but look forward to the better version of yourself. So let's press the pedal a little bit. Number 7, if you want to look at the components of personal development. Number 7 is you must be teachable. Teachability is one of the critical skills you must have if you want to develop yourself. Why do I say this? You don't know it all. You don't have, nobody has a monopoly of knowledge. You can never get to a point in your life when you believe I've gotten to the peak of personal development. It's not possible. So you must be teachable. When you stop learning, you stop growing. When you stop learning, you stop leading. When you stop learning, you begin to lose the cutting edge of your existence. So you must get to a point in your life when you begin to invest in yourself, and you must remain teachable. Why do I say teachable? If you want to be constant and consistently inspired, then you must have an ability to get inspiration from other people. Never get to a point in your life that you think that nobody can teach you again. Never get to a point in your life when you begin to ask questions, who's speaking today? Who's this guy? You can learn from anybody. Can I tell you the truth? In consulting, there's a word that they call trainability. What does trainability mean? Trainability talks about somebody's ability, that somebody being malleable, that they can restructure his life to fit a particular role. That is, the trainability comes when there were questions around competence and character. That would you rather employ character and forfeit competence, or will go for competence and forfeit character? But people now, they had to come to a consensus or an agreement that now says, I would rather go for trainability. That means someone who is trainable. And the truth is this, a trained dog is more expensive than a dog that is not trained. So you must be teachable. You must get a position in your life that you are receptive to knowledge. That you're not in a point in your life you believe that you're the alpha and omega of English language, or you believe you're the alpha and omega of knowledge. No. You must be trainable. You must be teachable. You must get to a point that you can pick learnings from everything around you. People who are teachable see failure as a feedback. People who are teachable can receive feedback even from other people. So you must be teachable. You must be teachable. And one of the key things you know about people that are teachable is that they are readers. So if you want to be strong when it comes to personal development, you must be a reader. You must love to read. You cannot lead if you cannot read. You cannot lead if you cannot learn. So you must actually be a reader. Zig Ziglar once said that all leaders are readers. And being in the leadership community, one of the key things you must understand is you must be a reader. You must read. Personal development involves reading. It involves learning. And one of the things akin to remaining teachable, if you want to experience growth, you want to ensure that you are better in every area of your life, you must be ready to read. Someone once told me there's nothing I cannot know, so if I can read it. And that's the truth. If you're talking about personal development, you must be a reader, because the more you read, the more information that you gain access to, and the more information you get access to, the more reformed you become. Because when you're not reformed, you'll definitely be deformed. So if you don't want to be deformed in your life and you want to be reformed, then you must increase your access and your flow to information. Information technology, social media have actually collapsed the walls of college. So education is no longer within the four walls of a school. Knowledge is no longer within the circumference of a library. Knowledge now can be on the phone in your hand, can be on the laptop in your leg. When you are teachable, that is when you can gain access to this. Someone once told me, when the students are ready, the teacher will appear. And that's the same thing with personal development. If you really want to learn, sincerely, you will learn. And that is why you must be ready to read. It is hard to climb great heights without books. You need to invest in books. You need to invest in your personal learning. So you must learn, and as you learn, you climb. As you climb, you go higher and you get better in life. So reading develops your mind, and it develops it expands your perspective, and it narrows your focus. I'm going to say that again. Reading actually develops your mind. It actually expands your perspective and it narrows your focus. I've invested heavily in the last 2 years on personal development. And I can tell you for free how my mind, my spirit, my consciousness and subconsciousness has expanded greatly. I looked at myself 2 3 weeks ago and I was about making a decision in a particular area, and I was shocked with the way I was thinking. And I said to myself, 3 years ago, you never have thought this way. Why? I invested in my mind, I invested in my perspective, and it has narrowed my focus. And the truth is this: anyone who is gainfully moving in a tangentry of self personal development reads and invests in books. You must invest in books. Number eight is that you must challenge yourself. You must challenge yourself. Don't let yourself take the easy path. Don't let yourself take the easy path. Challenge yourself. Challenge yourself and say to yourself, I'm going to invest XYZ in my personal development. I'm going to invest XYZ moments, XYZ hours, XYZ minutes, XYZ seconds on this kind of development. I'm going to read XYZ number of books this year. I'm going to attend XYZ number of programs this year. You must challenge yourself, because if you do not challenge yourself, you will remain a custodian of a status quo. And the word status quo from the original meaning actually means the mess we got ourselves into. So if you refuse to challenge yourself, my brothers and sisters, you are going to remain in a mess. And that's the truth, because the pace and the speed of knowledge in this generation is seriously is at the neck-breaking speed. So if you do not challenge yourself, you'll be living in a world that does not exist again. For example, the new normal, the new world we live in now is a totally different kettle of fish. And if you're not willing to become or to challenge yourself, you may just become a 30-year-old man with an 100-year-old brain and body. So you must challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to be the best of yourself, and challenge yourself to go for the best. Challenge yourself to do the best. Challenge yourself to take it a step further. It's been said by John Maxwell that the path for the extra is always never busy. And the truth is this: those who get to the extra are those who challenge themselves. If you do not challenge yourself, you will never realize what you can become. And that's the truth. If you want to become something greater, better than what you are now, challenge yourself. Challenge yourself. Build discipline. Build discipline. If you're talking about challenging yourself, you must actually build discipline. If you are not disciplined, you can't challenge yourself. Someone rightly said that the pain of discipline now prevents the sting of regret later on. Because we do things in life for two major reasons: either for a gain or because of a pain. We are either running away from a pain or we are running towards a gain. So if you do not want to take the pain of personal discipline, then you will gain regret in future, which I strongly believe nobody listening to me today want to move in that particular angle. And because you don't want to move in that particular angle, you need to practice self-discipline. You must practice self-discipline. No discipline seems pleasant at the present moment. It always looks painful. I remember when I sat in a class for over 2 weeks, morning till night. That was last year. And I was trying to change my mind and actually invest in learning for about 16 days, rather, not even 2 weeks, about 16 days. And I kept doing this every day, 9 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 5, 9 to 5. At a point, I was tired, but I had to discipline myself. Why did I do this? Because talent is cheap. What really matters is discipline. Talent is cheap. Martin Luther King Jr., Martin Luther King III once said, talent is like a pinch of salt. It's everywhere. And as a young man and as a leader in my little world, I have found many talented people but going nowhere. Why? There is no discipline. You cannot personally develop yourself if you are not disciplined. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want more. If you want more of yourself, you want more of the beautiful life that you're looking forward to seeing, then you must be willing to discipline yourself today. Discipline, according to Jim Rohn, says discipline is the bridge between your goal and your accomplishment. Your goal is the present moment. Your accomplishment is the future you're dreaming of. So if you want to get to that future that you're dreaming of, then you must be willing and ready to discipline yourself. So let's get into number 9 now. Number 9 is you must be curious. I grew up hearing this word that curiosity kills the cat, and I tell people I'm not a cat. I'm actually not a cat. But the truth remains, if you want to develop yourself personally, you must be curious, because curiosity awakens intelligence. Curiosity awakens knowledge. Curiosity awakens insight. Curiosity puts you on a pedestal where you can gain access into new learnings. So if you really, really, really want to develop yourself, then you must be curious. Never stop wondering how the world around you works. Never stop wondering how people innovate and create. I grew up being very, very inquisitive. When they buy me wristwatches when I was growing up, I would destroy because I really want to see what makes the watch work. Why? What's my curiosity? When I hear somebody said this, do this, want to do this, I really want to go behind the scene to see how does this work. Why? I'm just naturally curious. And I've not found any successful man on earth who wasn't curious. You are not a cat, so curiosity will never kill you. You must be curious to know how things work. You must be curious why you are not having the kind of results you want to have. You must be curious to know what is behind the success of people that you want to learn the principles behind it. You must be curious. I think it's Robin Sharma that says adults actually are mutilated children, in the sense that if we can keep up the curiosity in us as children growing up, we will have done many better spectacular things on earth while we're here now. So, but you must be curious. Invest in your curiosity. When you begin to doubt something, place more study under it, and you find more light in it, because you must never lose the sense of wonder that is inside of you. You must be curious. Number 10, which is the final thing I'm going to be sharing with us today, you must invest in yourself. I didn't say you must invest in clothes. Neither do I say you must invest in watches. I'm not saying you must actually even invest in cars and houses. They're fantastic. I'm not saying you should invest in Bitcoin. They are also very lovely, and it's even the gold today. I'm talking about investing between the promised land that is between your two ears. I'm talking about you investing on the inside here. Invest in your brain. Invest in your heart. Invest in yourself. You must invest in yourself. Can I ask you a question? Many of us have set goals for this year. Did you set goals about investing in you? Did you set goals about investing in your personal development? Did you set goals about investing even in you becoming a better version of yourself? If every goal you set is external, then I can tell you, you are living on the surface. If you really want to go deeper than the surface, then you must begin to think about investing in yourself. Because I said to you, you are the CEO of your life. You are the captain of your journey. You are even the driver of your wheel. And if you do not invest in yourself, no matter the car you drive, that car cannot go far. No matter the house you live in, that house cannot have enough light. You must invest in yourself. You must invest in yourself. You must have a budget for personal development. You must have a time for personal development. You must have goals around personal development. You must be heavily involved in your personal development. This is critical. It's critical for who you become. You must invest in you. And until you invest in you, nobody will. Don't stop looking for an external investor in yourself until you have invested in yourself. Look at your checkbook and say to me, how much have you spent on your personal development in your checkbook? If every money, every check you sign, all the bank alert you got is all about external things, then I can tell you your journey to personal development has not even started. You must invest in yourself. You must invest in yourself, because until you invest in yourself, you cannot attract external investor, because anyone who's going to come invest in you will first check you out. So what is so peculiar about you if you've not invested in yourself? So it's vital we understand that anybody who wants to make a boast that is personally developed must have invested some time, must have invested some dollars, must have invested some moments, must have made some huge sacrifices for who he or she becomes. So this very evening, I'm challenging you, invest in yourself. So tonight we've looked at investing in yourself, we've looked at being curious, we've looked at challenging yourself and be self-disciplined, we've looked at being teachable and also being somebody who loves to read. We've talked about having a healthy balance between contentment and discontentment. We've looked at you being always be accountable, have an accountability framework around yourself. We've talked about you being intentional in your relationship. We've talked about you setting goals and having a goal. We've talked about you having a vision. I would start it tonight by looking at you knowing yourself. Now, this is a spectrum of several things we talked about today, which is why I strongly believe you may want to come back to watch this video all over again, or go back and check your notes. Why am I saying this? Because who you become actually is left to you. In conclusion, always remember this, that personal development is a lifelong process. So don't get down on yourself if you don't excel in every area of your life. Hopefully in February, I'm going to take us through 12 areas of life. We're going to look at that in bits. Hopefully in February, as time permits us. But today, you must understand this, and that is critical, that this journey is going to take a long while. And the last thing I want to share with you tonight is focus more on your progress. Focus more on incremental growth. Don't just look for a sudden flight. It's not going to happen. Focus more on incremental growth. I tell people, pace yourself. Pace yourself, because if you jump up, you will jump down.
Wow, Efeli, amazing, amazing, amazing time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the reason why you need to invite your friends, invite your neighbors, invite your family, old and young, to join this
So pace yourself. If you jump up, you will definitely jump down. Pace yourself and begin to take the trajectory in bits. So that's going to be my word for you today. Hopefully, there are questions you want to ask me. You can put that in the comment section and we will look at it and get back to you. Thank you so much for your time with me this very evening. God bless you.
This phase is not the end of the story. There is more to who you are than today reveals. You are not made for lowly heights, so raise the bar and be better. Explore new frontiers. I am cheering, waiting on the other side. Keep advancing. God has given all you need. There are people following the path you lead. Yeah, 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 oh yeah, yeah. Every day is just a gift to become a better you. Now is where your pages begin. Don't stop it now, don't stop it. Keep moving, don't stop it. Keep moving, don't stop it. Keep moving, don't stop it now. Growth is a guarantee that tomorrow's great. Hope you hear me. Don't you drown in the glory of yesterdays. Only if you can strive to be better, then you have a chance to become the best of you.